Well, I have my news up here at Desawe in Kanda. This is News 360. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up, the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxy Superfix Tile Cement, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, Fecal Spray Starch, and Apart Foods.
My Life Insurance.
Coming up tonight, only 7 million cedis is left in the COVID-19 National Trust Fund as the managers urgently ask for more donations as demand for support keeps coming. We'll bring you details of it tonight.
A 16-year-old boy is confirmed dead from a stray bullet at Abuabo in Kumasi as Muslims marked Eid in the Ashanti regional capital.
The Volta Regional Coordinating Council partners Ghana Tourism Authority to boost the region's rich tourism potential.
On the international front, Mali's interim president Assimi Goïta survives a knife-stabbing attack in the capital, Bamako.
We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Let's get into our stories this evening. Straight to the Ashanti region. 16-year-old Gafaru Kasim has been confirmed dead at the Menshia Government Hospital after he was hit by a stray bullet at Abuabo number 2 in the Sokore Mampong municipality. Fortunately, one other person is currently on admission at the emergency unit of the hospital in Kumasi. Here's a report by Benjamin Edu.
Since the establishment of the COVID-19 National Trust Fund last year, 700 donors from private corporate world.
The incident happened a few minutes after the Eid prayers when a group of gun-wielding youth in the area were brandishing weapons and firing shots as part of Eid Adha celebrations at Abuabo number 2. A stray bullet hit 16-year-old Gafaru Kasim, who did not survive after being rushed to the Menshia Government Hospital. Officers from the Ashanti Regional Police Command were deployed to the scene to assess the situation. Curious residents gathered at the crime scene. Print of blood stains of the victims could still be seen. Another victim is still battling for his life at the emergency unit of the same hospital. Distraught family members could be seen hovering around the hospital. The Asokore Mampong Municipal Chief Executive Alhaji Ali Duseidu described the incident as shocking.
There is a limit to whatever you can do. I am not an expert in shooting. I don't see why I should use guns in celebration. It's not done anywhere. I will advise the youth to desist from these sort of acts. Let us all have a fruitful celebration for the year, so that at the end of the day, we will say that this year's celebration has been very wonderful and has been very good.
Head of the family of the deceased, Suleimana Umar, said the disaster has ended their celebration of the Eid.
From prayer come house, we are coming to prepare to go and kill our cow and rams. So we just hear the call that somebody shoot Abdul Qasim, Kufuor. So as we call there, we can't see the body. And we hear that there's one woman saying kicking, let the boy run. So by the grace of God, the police called there.
An eyewitness, Mullah Adam, expressed worry about the behavior of some youth in the communities.
Yes, government in Bonu.
We are appealing to government to provide security for Aboabo number 2. It has become rallying point for the youth from surrounding communities, and this has led to increased social vices.
Government in Jena, no one has
Away from the Ashanti region, President Kufuor has decried the current upsurge in the COVID-19 pandemic and charged Ghanaians not to let their guards down. Speaking at the 2021 Eid al-Adha prayers at the Ghana National Mosque in Accra, the president encouraged the citizenry to keenly follow the COVID-19 protocols until everyone receives a double dose of the vaccine.
Allahu Akbar.
The 2021 Eid al-Adha prayers were held at the newly commissioned Ghana National Mosque in Accra. Chief Imam Dr. Sheikh Osman Husharbutu led the prayers. In his sermon, the Chief Imam called on Muslims across the country to live in harmony and oneness to enhance national development. President Kufuor spoke about the recent increase in the COVID-19 pandemic.
As we continue to count on the grace of God to protect our country from the ravages of the pandemic, like we have done since its outbreak, we can only minimize its health effects and avoid a full-blown third wave if we continue to be responsible and observe the safety and hygiene protocols. The recent increase in the number of infections is a source of worry for me and indeed for all Ghanaians. From the rising numbers, it is safe to conclude that we have let our guard down and we're beginning to live our lives and conduct our businesses as though we are in normal times. It is important to repeat that the virus is still with us, and until each and every one of us receives a double dose of the vaccine, the protocols must continue to be a part and parcel of our daily activities.
The president called on Muslim leaders to pray for him and his government to surmount all challenges and steer the country back to economic progress.
Our country is making a faster economic recovery in comparison to many around the world, with our economy expanding by 3.1% in the first quarter of 2021. In many economies around the world, due to the effects of COVID-19, governments are finding it difficult to attract the needed investments in the productive areas of their economy. However, our situation appears to be different, as the investor community continues to cast a vote of confidence in our economy.
The president charged the citizenry to be mindful of their speech so to keep the peace of the country intact.
I am a firm supporter of free speech. The government I lead is also a firm supporter of free speech, amply evidenced by the atmosphere of free speech prevailing in the country. However, we must all bear in mind that words can be as incendiary as guns. The Bible tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. All it took was the muttering of words by some irresponsible journalists and amplified by the power of radio to ignite the tragic genocide in Rwanda. It is important for all of us to recognize that there's only one country we call home, and that is Ghana.
The sacrificial lamb was later slaughtered.
Well, let's stay a bit further with the Eid celebrations, as Muslims across the country have been admonished to live by the principles of Eid al-Adha, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice. Spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Arimiel Shaibu, is saying there's a need for government officials to also practice the culture of sacrifice in order to foster unity and development.
Akbar, Baraka de Sanla. These are the words that we are hearing today as the Muslim mark Eid Mubarak, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice. It always starts with a prayer. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. This is not the only thing that characterizes the day of celebration. Most of them come here donned in their beautiful outfit with their family, and also a way to say thank you to Allah for His guidance and His protection.
It's a fantastic day. It's a privileged day. If any Muslim who, see this day, you should say Alhamdulillah. Yes, say inshira wode amaye papa tifi mam no ofasa inshira no kaga na man nyina.
As a festival of sacrifice, it's a reminder of the fact that we all need to make that necessary sacrifices and compromises that assets our coexistence as members of the society.
Sheikh Miao Shabi called on leaders to inculcate the culture of sacrifice in their duties to foster more development in the country.
As we learn the lesson, Ghana is at a crossroads. Now that our economy is not very stable, and so this is the time we need the sacrifice of all and sundry, especially those of us who work within the public space, to show sacrifice so that Ghana will progress and develop on the foundation of the value of sacrifice.
Usually, it's a cow that is being sacrificed. It is a custom that Imam will say a word of prayer before the animal is slaughtered.
Whenever you slaughter the cow, you must divide it into three. One, you should give it to the poor people, and give it to the people who are surrounded around your area. Then you also take the third part for your family to also enjoy.
The three-day festival is characterized with merrymaking, but under the pandemic, the president as well as Chief Imam has asked the Muslim fraternity to celebrate with caution as cases begin to rise. The festival is expected to be climaxed on Friday when the sun sets.
And
3 days, yeah.
away from the Eid celebrations, only 7 million cedis is left in the COVID-19 National Trust Fund. In this report, Sarah Parko finds out why the fund, which accrued 57 million cedis, is now asking for more donations as demand for support keeps coming.
Since the establishment of the COVID-19 National Trust Fund last year, 700 donors from private corporate world, NGOs and volunteers donated on daily basis to fund government's efforts at fighting the coronavirus. Donations, however, dwindled after the lockdown. Between September 2020 and July 19, only 6 donors, 4 institutions and 2 individuals have donated to the fund.
When the pandemic was at its heat, at this premises, sometimes you see 15 different organizations coming with donations of all kinds. This place was crowded. That was between late March, early April, up to somewhere June last year. But it started dwindling from July 2020, and it has continued to dwindle up till now. Whilst the demand for support is increasing, the rate at which the donations are coming are decreasing, and that is the sad aspect of it. We are appealing to corporate organizations, private individuals to come to our aid like they did from the onset, and we are also asking them to appreciate the fact that COVID is still with us. It is not gone. And as you've heard from the experts, Ghana is even entering our 3rd wave.
The fund managers are worried about the miscommunication on the mandate of the fund.
People have misconstrued the COVID-19 National Trust Fund to all the national efforts. But that is not the case. That is why I told you from the onset that the COVID-19 National Trust Fund was created as part of measures to combat the pandemic. People will go and see that, oh, they've collected 1 billion, they've chopped it. They've collected $100 million from World Bank, they've chopped it. They have collected so much. We have not collected those monies. If anybody wants accountability, which I support that people, Ghanaians, citizens, and whoever have the right to ask for accountability. But the accountability request should go to the appropriate quarters. You don't come and ask us to account for $1 million when we are not the custodians of such funds.
The fund managers are exploring other avenues to raise funds.
The Health Minister, Kufuor has admitted that he failed to seek cabinet and parliamentary approval before engaging a private individual for the procurement of the Sputnik V vaccines in a bid to manage Ghana's COVID-19 cases. On Thursday, July 15, while answering questions before a bipartisan parliamentary committee probing the controversial Sputnik V vaccine procurement, the minister said the urgent and critical nature of the circumstances at the time did not permit him to use the right channels while also ignoring approvals from the Food and Drugs Authority. The contract with Sheikh Al Maktoum, which has since been terminated, could not supply the quantity of vaccines as promised. However, 20,000 vials of the vaccine, which were supplied as part of a proof of concept, remain a debt to the Ghanaian taxpayer.
All right, so let's stay a bit further on this, and let's go on to the telephone. Vitus Azim is a governance and policy expert. He's former executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative and also an anti-graft campaigner. Mr. Azim, good evening to you. Thank you for your time this evening. First off, this admission by the health minister, clear there that standard operating procedure was breached. What should be a point of interest for the likes of you, anti-corruption crusaders? Is there an element of corruption to suspect there?
Yeah, there's an element of potential corruption. We don't have evidence that there was a change of bribes or anything, but it was a potential corruption risk. And so in such cases, you need to investigate to find out whether something untoward had happened. But you see, when you look at the fact that this was the former chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, and you apply what was used on Mr. Domulevo, that as Auditor General should have known better and that kind of thing, you don't expect him to do those things.
Well, but beyond this committee, the parliamentary committee that probed this, which led to these revelations we're hearing now, what steps should be taken to ensure that this is actually discussed beyond just the committee's work? Should Parliament as a house take it up, or an independent investigation body should take it up to get to the bottom of it?
You see, my problem with Parliament investigations, you are investigating your own colleague. And from past experience, you don't normally expect much to come out of it. But I don't think that he even needs to wait for the investigation to come out with any report. This admission alone should be enough for him to say, I think I have done the wrong thing. I'm bowing out as Minister of Health. That should be the honest thing for him to do. Because you have admitted publicly that what you did was wrong. So what happens? Should they just forget? You would not expect, from past experience, you would expect the president to say go. So one will say himself, say, look, I think this is too much. We've had incidents in some countries where a train accident, which does not involve the minister responsible, the minister decides to step aside. So this admission should be enough for him to do well. I think I've done the wrong things. I'm leaving the scene.
Well, so far we haven't heard anything from his appointer or the appointing authority in that regard, even though, yes, indeed, as you heard, he has admitted that he breached standard operating procedure. And you think that that public admission is enough grounds for him to step aside?
Yes, I think so. As for the coming from the appointed authority, it's not a new thing. That's why people have called him something, clearance house or something. He doesn't even see anything wrong with that. And especially in this case, they will use excuses like it was an emergency because of the COVID-19 and all that kind of thing. So I don't expect the president to say go. But he himself, having been the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and has been in Parliament for quite some time, I think he himself should say, well, I think what I've done is wrong. They get somebody else to replace me. But as I expected the sanctions from the president, I will be very surprised.
You'll be surprised if the president steps in and asks him to resign, or ask for further probe into this particular revelation. Why would that be a surprise to you?
Because it's not the normal practice. It's not a normal practice. We don't see it happening. For the president to come out and say, I'm sacking this person because of 1, 2, 3. Sometimes what they do is just put pressure on the person to resign, which is not enough punishment for the person. You see, you have people working for you. If they don't do the right thing, it is your responsibility to say, look, you have to go. And let people understand why you're asking the person to go. But sometimes they will go behind the closed doors and advise the person, submit your resignation letter, and then he may yield against his will. So I think that we need to reach a stage where we should stop these things. If the person is a person of integrity, he should go. If he doesn't go, the president should say, look, I cannot contain this, you have to go.
Right. But even beyond the resignation, the questions about whether we lost money, the taxpayer lost as a result of this transaction that was as a result of a breach of the standard operating procedure has to be answered. If he does resign.
I don't know. I think he has told the Parliament that no monies were paid or so. So if no monies were paid, then there might not be any loss to the taxpayer, unless he was not telling the truth. But if no monies were paid, we wouldn't be talking about maybe taxpayer losing some money.
Zazim, I thank you for your time this evening. Vitus Zazim is an anti-graft campaigner. Portia.
Let's now go to the Volta region, where the Regional Coordinating Council has partnered the Ghana Tourism Authority as part of efforts to boost the region's rich tourism potential. As part of the drive, the VRCC and the GTC appointed 5 media personalities, including 3FM's Jifa Bampo, as brand ambassadors to tour tourist sites in the region. Well, Jifa Bampo was on tour with the delegation and has filed this report.
The Volta region is split in 2 parts, the southern and northern regions, with diverse geography and tourist attractions. While the south is flatland, hosting clean, beautiful sandy beaches and a serene landscape, the northern part is greener, more forested with lots of undulating hills called the Equiapim Togo Ranges, and hosts of the highest peaks, Afajato and Gemi. The Volta Region Coordinating Council identified and chose 5 media personalities who come from the region as part of a strategy to leverage their audience and following to generate interest in the region. Among the brand ambassadors are 3FM's Jifa Bampo, MFA Apau of Joy News, Bernard Avle of City FM and TV, as well as Ivy Prosper of the Ghana Tourism Authority, not forgetting Kafui Day and Mauli Fui Kojovia, who are public relations practitioners. The 5 engaged in a 3-day tour of the region, promoting tourist sites such as the Cape St. Paul Lighthouse, the Lee Waterfalls, and the locality of Amajopa, located some 3,275 feet above sea level. Part of the tour was the experience of the rich traditional drumming and dancing.
These are just a few. If I'm the key ones I'm mentioning, there are other things, so many things along. If you want to give in cultural immersion, you want to look at the culture of the people, how they live, how they prepare their foods. So if you want to even do that aspect alone, it can take you a whole week. Then from Fort Presenstein, we will then, I'm just touching on the key ones. We can go to Akachi, we can go to Aplao, go to the border, see where Ghana and Togo share boundaries. From there, we'll move on all the way to Georgia. Georgia, we saw some few places there. Then, even there, they also have some wonderful palm trees that are come out with 3 branches.
The delegation met the Volta Region Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, traditional leaders in Keta, Bledi and Leatiwoti, as well as tourism officers in the Volta region.
Staying on the Volta region, the regional minister, Dr. Archibald Lecture, has joined us on Zoom to delve further into the Volta Fair. Thank you so much for your time, Doc. So this Volta Fair, we understand, does not only involve the Volta region, but also the OT as well as the Eastern region. Tell us more about this collaboration.
Thank you very much. Good evening to your viewers. It is a Volta Trade and Investment Fair. But we are doing it in collaboration with the Association of Ghana Industries. And it happens that the president of the AGI happens to be the president for OT and Eastern region as well. But of course, we are partnering with the whole country, and even we are expecting investors and exhibitors from outside Ghana. It's under the theme promoting sustainable trade and investment, and our emphasis is on agribusiness and tourism and then ICT. And this fair is scheduled for the 15th to the 28th of November 2021. We had a first one in 2019, but because of the COVID, we couldn't have the 2020 edition. This year, we have appointed brand ambassadors, as you are aware. GFA is one of them, and they are doing an excellent job. They were with us the weekend, and for them to experience what we have in the Volta region. These are citizens of the Volta region working in the media, and we want them to be our ambassadors, our brand ambassadors, and so far they are doing an excellent job. We are inviting all Ghanaians, not only people from the Volta region. We are expecting exhibitors from all over the world. A lot of people have shown interest, and we are expecting that people will come to Volta region and experience what we have in the region. So it's hashtag Visit Volta Experience Ghana. Come and visit Volta and experience Ghana. So I'm inviting you in the studio to come and visit us even before the fair. So we are expecting many people in the region. We're going to hold it at the whole sports stadium, and it's going to be a memorable event.
Yeah, Doug, you spoke about tourism extensively as well, but we all know that access routes to these beautiful tourist sites in the Volta region are not in the best of shape. So are you going to lobby to have them fixed before the fair?
By all means, we would do our best to get the access roads fixed. We started work on them already. If you, I was in around the waterfalls at the weekend, and up to a certain stage, the road is not bad from Golokwati to the waterfalls. But we still have some work to do on the Eastern Corridor Road, and government is taking that project very seriously.
What timelines are we looking at here?
We're expecting that before the fair. The fair is going to happen in Ho, but before then, right from now, we are inviting people to visit Volta region. And when they contact us, we contact the Ghana Tourism Authority, and they contact the Volta Regional Community Council. We'll be able to advise them as to what to do, which routes to take, and we give them guides to protect them, security. And we believe that the roads on the Eastern Corridor Road is the major challenge from Asekuma to Have, from Have to Golokwati to Howe, and government is prioritizing that road.
Aside tourism, I know this fair is also looking at agribusiness as well as ICT. How do you hope to leverage on these two to open up the region to investment?
Yeah, we know that the world now, everything is about ICT, and so we want to emphasize that because of the young population that we have, and now everything is becoming. We are trying to digitize almost all the facets of national life. So it's important that we emphasize ICT and agribusiness. Our people engage in agriculture, and we have a lot of investors in the field of agriculture in the region, and we have many of them also trying to process the products. So Our emphasis is also going to be on agribusiness. We want people to come and farm. We want people to process the produce to add value for export and to that to help our foreign exchange reserves. So we have a very powerful team in place, and the collaboration is between the private sector, the VRCC, the Ghana Tourism Authority, and we think that we are on course, and we want you to support us by making people aware that this something wonderful is happening in the Volta region, and we are inviting people from now. Don't wait till it's time for the fair. You can visit Volta at the weekend and experience it yourself. So visit Volta, experience Ghana.
Thank you very much for your time. And Dr. Archibald Yao Lecha is the Volta Regional Minister.
Well, so what the president of the Peasant Farmers Association, Charles Nyaba, has blamed the Finance Ministry for the shortage of fertilizer in the country. He says the ministry is failing to prioritize the supply of fertilizer to farmers across the country. In the following report, Godfrey Tanam assesses the impact of the shortage on food security in future.
There's no fertilizer in the area, and the farmers are suffering. We don't know what is happening.
The only resource is just the farming, and we depend on only one seasonal trend. We have one season, and if that season elapses, we are completely in trouble.
The Abuja Declaration on Fertilizer says sub-Saharan Africa can only increase food production and alleviate poverty when the use of fertilizer is prioritized. Climate Change and Sustainable Development reports say the application of fertilizer in Ghana is approximately 15 kilograms per 2.47 acres, with the highest depletion rates in Africa ranging from about 40 to 60 kilograms of 2.47 acres approximately per year. The government of Ghana started subsidizing fertilizer in 2008 because of the significant increases in fertilizer prices.
These subsidies are being borne by the Ghanaian taxpayer.
It is mainly to encourage affordability and the use of fertilizer. Despite this, the sector still struggles, making Ghana lose out on the Abuja Declaration on increasing fertilizer to farmers. The shortage of fertilizer on the Ghanaian market threatens food security in the near future.
At the moment, you are not going to get a soya beans 50 kilo for less than 300 Ghana cedis. You are not getting maize less than 300 Ghana cedis. You are not getting sorghum less than 300 Ghana cedis. This is abnormal situation which we've never experienced. My prediction is that next year we're likely to see more prices escalating beyond what we are experiencing now.
Dr. Charles Nyaba blames the Ministry of Finance for the challenge farmers face in accessing fertilizer.
MOFA has a clear vision for the agriculture sector, but I'm seeing a trend where the Ministry of Finance are not having similar commitment. National Association of Seed Traders, NASTA, most of the members who supply seed as at now haven't received payment. Fertilizer is the same thing, and all these problems are coming from Ministry of Finance.
He suggested a presidential initiative to deal with the crisis.
If the presidency actually believes in the vision of where the Ministry of Food and Agriculture want to take the agriculture sector to, they should, as a matter of agency, hold on all other expenses in other areas and ensure that they let Ministry of Finance do the right thing.
Dr. Nyaba called on the distributors to consider the consequences of the current situation, even though government is owing them. Agriculture sustains more than half of Ghana's labor force, 54% of Ghana's GDP, and over 40% of export earnings comes from agriculture. It also provides most of Ghana's food needs. Godfrey Tanam, TV3 News, Accra.
You're watching News 360 live from the News Hub here at Adesa Wikanda. We have more news coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Mama Josie.
Ah,
fair.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Choco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat2. I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any painting be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Kellogg's Moons and Stars. Astro Coco, where is the Milky Way?
It's this way. And where there's moons and chocolatey stars,
That's where the fun starts.
mission begin.
Yay!
Mission accomplished.
Yummy! So milky and chocolatey.
Introducing Kellogg's Moons and Stars.
This advert is FDA approved.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful.
Cleansoft, my favorite.
Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
I think I have a super yogo.
Hit the plane.
No, lemon.
Super Yogo Plain tastes like bliss.
The Super Yogo Lemon gives you that zing.
Super Yogo Plain is nourishing enjoyment.
Super Yogo Lemon is nutritious pleasure. To the point. Hey. Lemon.
Plain.
Lemon.
Plain.
Lemon.
Plain.
Lemon.
Hello, boss. Can I have a super yogo, please? Plain or lemon?
Plain.
Support your immune system with vitamin B6 and vitamin D in the goodness of Super Yogo.
Just give me both. Give them some too. I'll pay for it.
Did we say we come pay?
Super Yogo, go for more. This advert is FDA approved.
Phantom X, new Elise flagship. Be bold, be extraordinary.
Life must be enjoyed. Life must be lived to the fullest. And that is why Ayo is making insurance accessible to all Ghanaians. With over 5 million Ghana cedis claims paid, we continue to bring smiles to all MTN subscribers across the country. A life or hospital cover for as low as 4 Ghana cedis per month, yet giving us so much to be happy for. We share the goodness Ayo brings with everyone. Dial *296# and follow the prompts to register for Ayo Recharge with Care. Registration is free. Ayo, because you care. Terms and conditions apply. Underwritten by Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana.
In more news tonight, the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Usefri Akoto, has called for cooperation between government and the people of Togome to ensure that the irrigation project is successfully implemented. He said an estimated $34 million has already been invested in the project and issues of litigation are scaring investors away.
The Kpong Irrigation Rehabilitation Project is being financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project, GCAP. The chiefs and youth of Togome in the Volta region had threatened not to allow government to take all their lands for the GCAP project without giving a portion of the farm. At a meeting to reach a consensus with the chiefs and people of Togome, Dr. Ifri Akoto observed how the government intends to transform the area when the irrigation project is fully implemented.
Nobody is dragging anybody out. But rather try to invest some money to come into your area and to create a job for your young men and women who are sitting at home doing nothing, or here in Accra selling pieces of things or carrying other people's wares in markets. That's what we're trying to do. So please, let's understand ourselves and cooperate fully.
He noted the condition under which government has gone to borrow money to invest in the project.
The Kufuor government is the one which has come in to implement this $34 million US project. And the conditions are what I'm telling you. We have to make sure that those conditions are met.
At the end, an agreement was reached with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the chiefs and people of Togome.
Well, the Chief Chancellor of the India-Africa Trade Council, James Rajamani, has pledged his commitment to foster strong working relationship with foreign missions and partners to eradicate trade deficiencies. He said the council would leverage on multilateral advocacy to help open up trade lines to be shared across both continents.
The idea of India-Africa Trade Council first occurred in early 2020, conceptualized by the advent of COVID-19, leading to its formation in consultation with the various heads of trade bodies in Africa and professionals from the entire Indo-African region, with a view of giving the business communities of these regions a voice and tool to foster development. Group Chief Executive Officer of Kingdom Exim Group, James Rajamani, has been sworn into office as the new chairman and chief counselor of the India-Africa Trade Council, IATC.
As Chief Chancellor of our multilateral organization, I shall force a strong working relationship with the foreign mission and partners to enable us eradicate trade deficiencies. I shall leverage on this multilateral advocacy to help open trade lines to share across both continents.
The ambassador of Namibia said the IATC initiative is a building block for Africa to become relevant in the global economy.
For Africa to industrialize, for us to put value, to add value to our own products, so that we create jobs at home, so that our young people stay on the continent and they do not die in the sea. So it is up to you, captains of industry in Africa, to make the African dream a reality.
The IATC has its global secretariat in Bangalore with offices in Ghana, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Mauritania, Djibouti, Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, as well as Kenya, Tanzania, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho and South Africa.
And today we are going to honor.
The Ghana National Fire Service has attributed frequent fire outbreaks across the country to the public's ignorance of safety tips. Outgoing Greater Accra Regional Deputy Chief Fire Officer DCFO James Emmanuel Kwa appealed to the public to complement efforts of the service in educating the public on such tips to reduce incidents.
The outgoing Greater Accra Regional Deputy Chief Fire Officer, DCFO James Emmanuel Kwa, underscored the need for loyalty and service to the nation. He again called on city officials to ensure that laws aimed at decongesting roads and streets in the country are enforced to allow for easy access by the service in case of fire outbreaks.
Enforcement of accessibility should be intensified by all concerned authorities. In some of their communities, roads are blocked for social events without recourse to the traditional leaders, city authorities, and the Ghana National Fire Service. This creeping culture must be stopped.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte charged the service to step up in discharging its functions.
much as you do your best to put out fires, we want to continue to encourage you to try as much as possible to get to fire scenes in real time.
DCFO James Emmanuel Kwao has served in the Ghana National Fire Service for close to 3 decades.
So live here on News 360. Before we go for that quick break, we have some update from the Ghana Health Service with respect to the COVID-19 cases. 817 people have died, and that's an increase from 812. In fact, we had 814 at a point. And so we've had 5 new death cases reported within the 24-hour period of update. And that's what's happening with the COVID-19 update from the Ghana Health Service. And the active cases also now 3,466, up from 3,124. So stay with us. It's going to be a lot more on 3news.com. We will be back shortly with the sports news. Juliet Bewa is standing by.
Takes just a little while. Open your eyes and just look at the day. You know you'll see things in a different way. Oh, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here.
The show was a jar of bar and a dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 malaria sententem. FDA,
Have you heard of Eden Heights, a luxury gated residential development located in the heart of Accra West, just behind West Hills Mall? It's Accra's best kept secret, a master planned community of modern styled apartments and penthouses bearing the superior seal of grade A finishing. Eden Heights promises residents convenience, security and comfort. For an all-inclusive and self-contained living experience, Eden Heights is your best choice. You are guaranteed a wide variety of social and recreational conveniences right at your doorstep, including open green spaces, soccer pitch, swimming pools, tennis court, fitness center, playgrounds and entertainment facilities. Reserve your luxury apartment on our limited promotional offer with just 25,000 cedis. Call 050-1531-444 for more information and to book a viewing. Terms and conditions apply. Eden Heights, welcome home.
For generations, Ghanaians have had one thing in common, and that's the way we start our day. Wherever your day will take you, start with the energy from Cadbury Richoco, made from the finest Ghanaian cocoa.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello there. We know what matters today, don't we? Hurry up. Follow safety measures. Drive for hours. Grab a perfect spot. Park smoothly. And then visit another shop and scroll for the opportunities. Tap to pay. Enjoy that extra reward. Get 10% extra cash back when you pay with Visa. How you pay matters.
To believe in you. We are changing, so should you. Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Shady aroma to me.
I told master. Roma insecticide spray at Roma. Interfere, Entatia, make it her. No way. Shemikuno and Tonton Bako crown panel. And also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil. I'm out there with a sham. Roma and
Roma and Tonton Master.
Sports segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Juliet Biwa. We're starting straight from Japan, and the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games is few days away, and due to the pandemic, the Games will take place without spectators for the first time in the history of the event. But what does this mean for the general look and feel of the event? Here is a report by Thierry of the Sports Desk.
It's an open secret. The 2020 Olympic Games will go on without fans. The first time in the history of the big event that athletes will run, jump, throw, kick or hit a ball without their fans cheering them on. For one reason, the COVID-19, the Games was postponed 1 year following the cancellation of the Olympics in 2020. The Olympics has again been hit by the pandemic as Tokyo's increased infection rate continues to threaten the smooth organization of the Games. This is also a blow to thousands of Japanese ticket holders and the local organizers who will forfeit around $800 million in ticket revenue. Some athletes have spoken too. Nick Kyrgios said he withdrew from the Olympics because the thought of him playing in front of empty stadiums just doesn't sit right with him. For the people of Japan, the precautions are just a step in the right direction.
The vast majority of the Japanese remain unvaccinated and they're afraid of the Olympics, kickstarting another surge.
The Ghana Boxing Authority Public Relations Officer and Press Attaché of the Team Ghana, Samuel Okine, who has traveled as part of the contingent from Ghana, thinks the decision to not allow the fans was the right decision.
We have about 15 cases at the Games Village. It won't affect the Olympics in a way because the Olympics is for the athletes. People will stay at home and watch the games. But we are trying to do everything well that people will be happy.
Organizing committee Seiko Hashimoto had said earlier that the committee was left with no choice after the COVID-19 pandemic resumed its destructive force a few months ago. The deteriorating situation has added to a public mood that was already increasingly critical of the Olympics. Over 11,000 athletes, team officials, coaches and journalists will travel from all over the world to Japan for the world's biggest sporting event. There is that odd chance the virus will travel with someone to these different camping zones or stadiums. The decision was to call it off, but how does it affect the general look of the sporting event?
It's going to be a huge miss at the Olympics, and definitely it's a big blow. We are having Toyota, for instance, one of the top Olympic sponsors, saying that they are not going to air Olympic-related TV commercials. All of this is still part of the fact that there are no spectators.
Fans have been banned from the Olympics this year, but despite the call for the events to be cancelled or postponed, what the local organizing committee has done in banning fans from watching from the stadiums is more than UEFA and other football associations have done in their respective fields to prevent the spread of the coronavirus and keeping people safe.
We'll definitely keep you updated with Team Ghana's activities. Now to some pre-season news, and Liverpool got their pre-season campaign up and running with a 2-1-1 draws in mini matches this evening. Let's take a look at the highlight.
Very important. Everybody gives everything.
That's back again, and the attempted cross comes off the arm of the defender, and the referee is inside 5 minutes to the first pre-season game. Divock Origi finds the bottom corner, and Liverpool are in front. This will come towards Aidon again, whose header is down and into the net. Well, they had the opportunity. Again, he is with the squad here. He's not involved, but they might be in, and they do score. It's a really, really good piece of work on by Kaladzic and turned home quite brilliantly. That's Milner. It's a lovely ball round the back and down across goal and in by Sadio Mane. It's a brilliant ball by Milner. It's a really good run by Kostas Tsimikas, and Sadio Mane has the simplest task. But that's it, the end of the first day of match exercise for Liverpool. And they went behind in this one to Philip Forster's very, very clever goal.
Right, so that's all for sports here on News 360 with me, Juliet Biwa. Good evening.
Ghana Padia and one they were 539 direct, the best lotto game in Ghana. You will hear say Ubenya 5 solid magic numbers. Free bako equasi 39.
Wow! Director enough! Winning no each show!
Abran Edino, what the 2 Ghana cities pay and a 2 you. And to also call *446# across all networks. Ultra direct one. Obedi 20 times Sika Udikayeno. Ultra direct tour. Obedi 45 times Sika Udikayeno. And a direct train so Ebema wadi 400 times.
We no eat shock.
Kwame so Enedino.
We no eat
shock. Wait me a try. They were 539 direct. I was selected Lotto Kiosubia. Wagana Fananina. We no eat shock. Hey! Direct to me China Famame. We no the choke ampa. They were 539 direct.
We no each
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and new Geisha Moringa.
I'm at the station. Please, can you give me the direction?
Ask anyone.
Okay, madam.
Madam Punchy Peach.
Why you go Punchy Peach? Coso Road. Now, where is number 4 and Numde Avenue?
Croissant! Front right, sharp left.
Please, direct me to number 4 and Numde Avenue. One fire you go Punchy Peach. And give me direction to number 4 and Numde Avenue. Please, can you direct me to number 24 Numde Avenue?
Keep going with the goodness of the new Fanny Yogo Punchy Peach. So cool, so good.
Welcome wherever you are on Planet Football.
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
And they sing, they dare to sing.
It's a rhythm.
1, 2. 1, 2.
Football. La football.
Soccer. 1, 2.
That moves us.
Salah to settle in. There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice, it's so nice. Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet. Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone. Together we can.
On the international front, Mali's interim president Assimi Goïta has been targeted in an attempted stabbing attack after Eid al-Adha prayers at the Grand Mosque in the capital, Bamako. The attacker was immediately overpowered by security. Investigations are ongoing, according to a Twitter post from the presidency.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Puma Drinks.
Entertainment this evening, the competitive race to claim the bragging rights of the 15th edition of Ghana's Most Beautiful reality show officially began last Sunday. Judges say they foresee a keen challenge this season, giving the assessment on the first episode. So that's what you see right there.
What you are going to do throughout the show, how are you going to carry the momentum? So as judges, we all...
That's it for News 360. Thank you so much for your time. I am Portia Gabo.
My name is Alfred Okansi. Join me and the rest of the team tomorrow morning on 3FM 92.7 from 5:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. Do have a good evening.
Media, minim senya F-Pack ye jumantem, bua tu hunam yaw eni tipaya ase. Ni senti, mi hu se na na ye busan wo dwabo kese na se, aye yi masutre se eye tipaye eni hunam yaw na eha nanano, na minim ne wo se me ye. F-Pack ye busua droma woni a wodi mfie dunsia ne yechire. Asma ni osa yarefo, apemfo ni ma wo manufo de, ensese wo fa F-Pack. Se wo fa F-Pack ne nu na ho antowo a, ko hunu doctor. FDA ahwehwe say dwedie nkrato yi magia tumu say ye.
F-Pack blows your pain away.
This program is rated PG. It contains scenes of brief nudity, mild violence, and strong language. Parental guidance is advised.
Program is brought to you by
Lavon's Tomato Mix, Roma Insecticide Spray and Coil, Fecal Spray Starch, Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil,
Optimal Hair Relaxer.
So what exactly are you saying?
What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I saying? I am curious about how you couldn't see all this stuff while living in the same house as him. Omer, listen, look. I am sure Hussein's hiding something from us. I don't know what it is, but I know he has a second life.
Will you please stop talking garbage, huh? Now why would he have a second life? I'm telling you about a small lie told my family, and look what you're saying.
Look, Omer, Hussein's lies aren't just to the family. He plays us at work too.
Arda, look, this guy's my brother. Choose your words, man.
I am, Omer, I am. He's my brother too, in a way. You think this is easy for me?
Well, then just say what you're gonna say so I know.
Open your eyes, Omer. Open those eyes of yours covered with blinkers and look around. Your brother, Hussein Demir, is not a policeman like Omer Demir is. Your brother is a corrupted police officer.